Don't move. Turn your fantasy football into reality. Here's CJ.
Hey, and welcome back. I'm CJ. This is the Dirty Landry Report. And I'm not exactly, I'm smiling, but that's because you're here. But I'm actually a little choked. I sound like it, right? I got a message this morning from an old league mate, a guy that I was in a fantasy league with in 2017. He watches the show and he sends me a note. This is from Gaston in Cozumel. He says, "Tell me about your unbeaten season." Oh, way to bring it up. I have never had an unbeaten season. I've played fantasy sports since the early 80s, so over 40 years of this. But remember, in the old days, it was total points for the season. We didn't have this head-to-head matchups. That's more of a recent phenomenon in the last 10, 15 years or so. In 2017 was my one chance at an unbeaten season. I was rolling along in week 9. I was 9-0. Got to week 10. I was playing some guy named Gaston. That's why he brings it up. I won the league championship that year. It was my only loss. And this is how it happened. There's like 10 seconds left. And my field goal kicker goes in and kicks a field goal. Standard league scoring, 3 points. Hey, I'm up by 1. Otherwise, I was going to lose. He missed that. I was out. On the ensuing kickoff, I had a running back by the name of Chris Thompson. And I'm going to put his stats up here. Take a look at that. That's standard scoring. The guy was amazing for the first 10, 11 games of that season, but not so amazing in week 10. And the reason was because on the kickoff, there was only 3 or 4 seconds left on the kickoff. So then Washington, who he was playing with at the time, started one of those razzle-dazzle, oh my gosh, 14 lateral things to try and get up the field and score. The last Washington player to touch the ball was Chris Thompson, who was credited with, the minus 2 point fumble. I lost by 1 point. It was the only loss I had all season with that team, and there went my perfect season. So you think the helmet catch was bad? Well, touching the ball on the heebie-jeebie play there cost me an unbeaten season. I did win the league championship, so there was that. But the satisfaction of winning the league championship, it wasn't the same as if it was an unbeaten season. I mean, I've had championships before and after that. I've just never had an unbeaten season. And thank you, Gaston, for reminding me of that. So now what I want to do is, let's put this up here. That's the confirmation of Aaron Rodgers suffering his season-ending Achilles injury. I don't wish that on anybody. The only positive out of this whole thing is that he'll have a year of rehab. It's a horrible injury. I had mine, and for 3 to 6 weeks, I might as well be trying to move your foot. I can will my foot to move all I want, but nothing's happening. It's not moving. And it really plays on you after a while. But then things start to get better. And by the time Aaron Rodgers hits the field next year, he'll have his knee rested, his shoulder rested, his body rested at a key time in his career. And he'll be determined to come back and show us all how good he is and to come back from that injury. But in case you maybe don't understand, I'm going to explain to you how my surgeon explained it to me when my Achilles ruptured. I mean, in the 70s and 80s, when you ruptured your Achilles or tore your Achilles, that was it. Your career was over. There was no coming back from that, period. It just never happened. Now they have the better medicine, better technology, and they have ways of fixing it, which is great. So I'm sure Aaron Rodgers will come back. I'm sure hoping he does anyway. Sorry for the Jets. Sorry for Aaron. I mean, that was just a horrible thing to happen. 4 plays in, couldn't have picked a worse time. But now Zach Wilson gets to show us how good he is, right? Maybe he is. Maybe that couple of months with Rodgers coaching him has turned him into a superior quarterback. the one that we thought he might be when he was originally drafted. But here we go. I just need a couple of props here. This is your Achilles tendon. This is a part of an elastic band, and you see it just goes up and down like that. That's pretty simple. That's what your Achilles tendon is. And when it rips, that's what happens. So this part can't move without being attached. So reattaching it together is what they do. And there's different methods of it. The way that they explained it to me when they did mine was they just rolled the ends over together, but it takes several months for that to set so that you can start using it again. And once you do use it, it's not so bad. But it's the ugliest, awfulest injury I ever had in my life. Don't wish it on anybody. I just hope that Rodgers comes back ready to roll next year and that the Jets will continue their winning ways this season. I'm Cejaay, and that's the Dirty Lander report for today. Have a great weekend of fantasy sports, and I'll see you next week.